something added on. So conditional statements are conditional and related statements. Okay, so we're going to determine the converse, inverse, and contrapositive of a conditional statement. Translate. Oh, wait a minute. No, oh, this is the wrong one. This is 3.4.133. Oh. We're not there yet. So we're going to look at conditional statements. So while that's going, let's go back over our tables real quick. Okay, we looked at and statements where we had P, Q, P, and Q, right? And there, true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Actually, I'm going to do that on the board because that way we can look at it. Well, what's the problem? Okay, so we got P, Q, P, and Q. Okay, we got true, 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 false, false, true, false, false, right? And so this would be true, false, false, false. Both must be true for P and Q to be true. Okay? And then we have P or Q. You got true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. So here we just need one or the other, right? True, true or false would be what? True or false? True. False or true is true. False or false is false. Good. And then we have negation, P and not P. If P is true, not P is false. Good. If P is false, then its negation is true. Okay. And so that's as far as we've gotten so far. Okay. All right. So we're going to go a little further than that now. None. Okay. So this is 3.4 again. So let's do this. We'll go to here. Okay, conditional statements. We're going to understand the structure of conditional statements, determine the truth values, and use circuit models. Okay, conditional statements is a compound statement for if then. And it's symbolized with this arrow looking symbol here. If P, then Q. And it's read as P implies Q. Or if P, then Q is mostly what I use. The statement P is the antecedent or what precedes it. and the Q is the consequent. So what follows? So the truth table is what? Yeah, you want to write this down. Which one? This one? Well, this is just notes here. It's nothing to write down. Okay, so the conditional statement, the main thing with this slide is the conditional statement is if P then Q, if P then Q. Okay, so you don't need to write this whole thing, just conditional statements, if P then Q, and how it's symbolized, P with an arrow Q to it. Okay, all right, so we good? All right. So you don't need to write all that. Okay. Now, if conditional statements is different than the others, now right here where it says if true then false is false, put a star on that, because this is the only time a conditional statement is false. Okay? Everything else is true. So in other words, if you're saying, it's true that I said I'm going to go to the party, and it's true that I did go to the party, then if I said I was going to go to the party, then it's true. Then I did go to the party. That's true. Okay. If I said I was going to go to the party, but it's false that I went, then it's like I lied, right? So that's a false, because I said I was going to go to the party, but then I didn't go, right? So, but if I said I'm not going to go to the party, and then I do go, I show up, then that's true. I didn't lie. I just thought I wasn't going to go, and then I said it, then I changed, then things turned out. So that's a true statement. Or if I said I'm not going to go to the party and I don't go to the party, that is a true statement because I didn't go. Okay? So, if true then false, that's like a lie there. If you say you're going to do something and then don't do it, that's false. Otherwise, everything else is true. Okay? All right.
Explain more if you say you're not going to go and then you go, how it's true.
Well, if you say that you're going to go to the party, right? But then you don't go to the party, that's like a lie, right?
Yeah.
So that's a false statement. You said you were going to go, but you didn't go, that's false. Okay? If you say you're not going to go, but then you do go, you didn't lie because you said you weren't going to go, but you did show up. So that's a true statement. Okay? So the only time if-then statements is false is if the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. That's the only time it's false. Everything else is true. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, and so that's what this is saying here. If P then Q is false only when the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. That's what we're saying here, okay, with this one. All right, so if the antecedent is false, the first part, then is automatically true. So if we look here, this is false and false, those are true. If the consequent is true, then if P then Q is automatically true. So anytime the consequent is true, then that's going to be true. Well, easiest way to remember that is if true, then false is false. Is the only one that's false. All the others is true. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at some more problems. And let's take a look at, we have P is if true, P is true, Q is 4 is less than 2. So if P, then Q. So if this is true, then this is automatically true. 4 is less than true, 2. Is that a true statement or a false statement? False. So we're saying if true, then false is true or false? That's false, yeah. That's the only one that's false. If true, then false is the only one that's false. Okay? All right. Questions there. So the next one, 8. So this was true. If true, then 4 is less than 2. All right. That was A. B, we're saying 8 equals 1. If 8 equals 1, then false. Okay, so P is 8 equals 1. Q is false. So if P, then Q. All right, so is 8 equal to 1? Is that true or false? That's false. Well, this is automatically false. So if false, then false is true. The only one that's false is if true, then false. Okay? So what we were saying before, so let me use brown. We said before that P, Q, if P, then Q, right? True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. The only one that's false is if true, then false. All the others are true. Okay? So with conditional statements, I would recommend that you go ahead and put a conditional statement truth table off to the side first before you start. In fact, I would put all the truth tables like on like this board. So this board here, right? The next one would be conditional. P, Q, if P, then Q. True, 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 false, false, true, false, false. And then do the true, if true, then false, do that first. And then the others are easy, the others are just true. Okay? So I would have a piece of paper with all those truth tables on it in your notes. That way when you do the homework and all that, you got it in front of you. And that really helps, okay, to have something like that as an aid. Okay, any questions there? Okay, so that's why I did that on the board, because I recommend that you do that on your own as a piece of paper. And now to get proficient with these, just take a piece of paper and put P, Q, P, N, Q, and then the left side, and then reconstruct each one of these truth tables on your own. The more you do that, the faster you'll get at it. It'll become easier for you, and then you won't have to go back and forth so much when you're trying to do the work. Okay? All right. So we did those two problems. Okay, a tautology is a statement where everything is true. True, 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 true. So a tautology would be where everything is true. Well, none of these are tautologies, right? But a tautology is when you have true all the way down. Okay? It's like absolutely true in every situation. Okay? That's a tautology. When all statements are true. Okay. So, write a conditional as a disjunction or statement. So, what we're saying here is if P then Q, we want to see if P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q. Okay? So we want to see if those are equivalent statements. All right, so I'm going to write this down here first so I don't have to go back and forth. And then P, Q, not P or Q. Okay. So this is our board. We want to see if these two are equivalent statements. Okay. All right, so we're going to put here true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. It's the same every time. Okay, so we said that the only one for a conditional statement that's false is which one?
True then false.
If true, then false. So we put false there, and everything else is true. Okay? All right, so that makes it easy. Okay, so let's look at if this one's equivalent to this one, we should get true, false, true, true here. Let's see if we do. Okay, true, 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 false, false, true, false, false. Okay, same thing, right? All right, so that means this column is our answer, right? So go ahead and do this truth table. You should be able to do this one here real quick. All right, go ahead and try that. Go ahead and do that one. So you're going to do the not P, right? And use first. So not P is going to be the inverse, the opposite, right? If P is true, then not P is false. That is correct. And false, and if P is false, then not P is true. That's a false. This is true, true. Okay, so Q, that doesn't change, right? That's true, false, true, false. Okay, so this V looking symbol, what does that mean? Or, good, put or up there. So if false or true is true, if false or false is false, if true or true is true, true or false is true, right? Because you only need one or the other. So true, false, true, 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 false, true, true. Are they equivalent statements? Yeah, they are. So we can say that if P then Q is equivalent to not P or Q. Okay? Questions there? All right. So how are we doing these? Are you starting to get used to them a little bit? Yeah, it helps to do. So we're saying these are, okay, so Okay, so basically, all right, so we're going to skip this one here. Okay, so with this next one, okay, determine, no, that's not right. Okay, back up. Okay, so, all right, let's go to, let's do this. Okay, so let's look at the next slide. Actually, you know what? I think we did pretty good today. We're going to go ahead and stop here. All right. So